I think really the message for our team right now is that we understand that this time of year comes with lots of distractions, and we've got to be super focused relative to what are the things that really help you play better. I think we're all going to want to play well when we're running out the tunnel at 1:30 Eastern in Orlando, but it's more about the routine that we're in now, how we prepare. Certainly today was a Tuesday formatted practice for us. We got a lot of good work. I thought the energy was really good. I think we do need to sharpen up a little bit relative to the detail. We're still knocking off some of that rust. But, again, it's about this 2018 team's legacy. It's about creating momentum, and it's all about how we finish. So we got to view our preparation as our advantage. It's how we separate ourselves, and that's really where we're at, trying to compartmentalize Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, get most of the plan in, probably 90% of the plan, then we'll travel on Wednesday. So good day, and certainly looking forward to getting back on the grass tomorrow.
What are some of the issues that Tulane presents?
I think Tulane certainly has good team speed. I think they've got some players on defense in particular that certainly were preseason all-conference, and a number of secondary players that are talented, in my opinion. I think they've got an outside backer that can rush, an inside backer that has had tremendous production, and certainly a front that has some size. I think on special teams they're very sound, and generally if you've got pretty good team speed, you're pretty sound. It can present some issues there. And then offensively, there's lots of unknowns, right? New quarterback about halfway through, certainly got some skill players that can expose you, and a little bit of a mixed bag here. Probably going to be a game of in-game adjustments relative to what we get, similar to some of the situations that we've had in the past. So I think that's kind of where we're at. That's what I see on the tape. Certainly very capable, and they've had some signature wins this year, and you can see that they've made improvement. Bowl eligible for the first time in a while. So a lot of respect for Coach and his programs.
You mentioned that you were Tuesday format today. Does that mean your Sunday yesterday was your Monday practice?
Well, we typically take off on Monday with our players, but we did because we had played a game.
Yeah.
We hadn't played a game, so we did a in-season Sunday similar to the first 8 games of the season, like we used to do early in the year. So we came off a 2-day break, Friday and Saturday off. Good practice, a lot of situational work, special teams work, drill work, and then today was just back to our normal routine.
Will there be any walkthrough at all on Wednesday with the travel, or is there no time?
Yeah, we'll lift the guys in the AM before we travel, and then certainly when we get down there, we'll have some meetings and film review, and there will be some walkthrough opportunities.
You mentioned the quarterback change mid-season. From what you saw from McMillan, what are the problems that he can present?
Well, I think he's a good athlete, and certainly has been very effective passer at times. So I think he's just getting the ball to the skill players that they do have, and his mobility gives him a little different element. I think that, he's a guy who's got experience, he's got confidence, and I think he's gotten a little bit better as the seasons went. This is a team, I think they've won 4 out of the last 5, if I'm not mistaken. So certainly outside of the Houston loss a couple weeks ago, they played pretty good ball and found a way to win some games.
I know you've mentioned it a time or two, but maybe underappreciated all season, the ball security from the running backs. How important is that?
Well, in general, we haven't fumbled the ball much at all this year. I'm not sure exactly what that number is. I actually thought about that in the indoor today, but I think we've done a good job. We've got to make better decisions at quarterback. We've thrown a few too many interceptions for my liking, but we put a huge emphasis on turnovers and the value of a turnover, what it means statistically. The numbers would tell you win basically 8 out of 10 games if you win the turnover margin in our league. And I think that probably applies to most football teams. So we got to own the football and attack the football, and you got to live it every day. And we put a huge emphasis on it.
No, Andre really, and everybody does, but Andre really takes losses hard. What what process does he go through to kind of shake things and then?
Well, I think it's healthy for a guy to do that. You know, in my opinion, it ought to mean that much to you. If you've got a lot invested, typically it's hard to get over. In particular, when maybe you felt like you could have played better. It's certainly at the quarterback position in our system, we give the guy the keys going to the stadium, and he distributes the ball, makes lots of decisions, and he's done a really good job throughout the year of doing that for the most part. But I do think that I think that's a healthy thing for him to really take it hard, you know, and I would hope that most of our players would be that way.
When do you think he finally got Andre and Levi got the keys going, got the car going offensively? How long did it take to learn what you wanted them to do?
I think you know, for the most part, we've done a good job throughout the year. I do think early, maybe in that first 3 or 4 games, we made a few more mistakes than we had been making. A lot of it has to do with the speed of the opponent, you know, the variables, you know, playing against some of the better teams. But once we settled into league play, you know, and started playing group of 5 ball, I think the guys have done a good job. You know, most of the time when we come back and look at it, they played, for the most part, good football. I think we ask those guys to make lots of decisions, you know, and we've been very effective on offense, and they've distributed the ball, you know, and tons of decisions to be made throughout a game. So I've been pleased with those guys. But like any competitor, you know, there's always those handful of plays that you like to have back. I coach them. Coach Bergeron and myself coach those guys, and we're seeking perfection, even though we may never get it, you know, but that's the objective every week.
Last week you said it was about recruiting. How'd that go?
I think we had a good weekend. I was very pleased. I thought our staff did a great job, not only the full-time coaches, but just in general, the personnel department, all of our on-campus recruiting, Katie Turner, William Pigler, Josh Thompson, Ainsley Dyer. All those guys did a really good job. I thought our support people underneath did a really good job. We had a good group of commitments and also a couple critical targets, and very pleased with where we're at there. Hopefully we can continue to finish strong the next couple of weeks.
Being off a week and having time to digest the season, how would you assess your team for the season overall?
I'll say it one more time.
Like, looking over the season, how do you feel about the improvements you guys have made and where you guys are at today?
Well, I mean, what I'm most pleased with is the intangibles, you know, the effort. When people compliment the effort you play with, the toughness that you play with, the passion, the energy, those are the things that we can control, you know. I do think we've improved fundamentally. I think our football IQ, we're much more advanced in all areas. So typical first year, you know, advancement and improvement, but there's always areas where we can get better, and that's what we're seeking right now. We want to go try to play our most complete game in the season, play our best football here at the end, and finish strong, and that's what our focus is on right now.
Another one of those underappreciated things. I think it's only like 6 or 8 or something like that. Teams in the country have not missed a start on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
And for that continuity, how critical has that been for you guys?
Yeah, it's been critical. I mean, and that's one of the units on our team that's made the most improvement, in my opinion. And those guys made tremendous investment throughout the entire calendar year. You know, the way they've changed their bodies, the amount of time that they've spent really learning our playbook. I think they've communicated better. They're a much more tight-knit group. And I think Coach Sell and Coach Looney have done an outstanding job with that group. We have kept them healthy, and I know most teams can't say that. So I think that a lot of that credit goes to our strength staff and the work ethic of those guys and what they did in the offseason to prepare.
I think Dotson, I guess, is Mr. Trivia. Has he ever dropped any of his random facts on you?
No, he has not. But that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. He's a sharp young man. Certainly the type of people we want around here, and represents this place the right way.
For him to get that all-conference designation and, you know, being the only one from a team that played in the title game, what does that say about what he's emerged as this year?
Well, I think he's very talented. There's a consistency in play. You know, the way he practices and prepares. I think he's a good example for the other players in terms of his work ethic, and his consistency and approach has led to consistency in his play. He's one of those guys that really kind of is the standard when it comes to legendary finish, and you know, a guy that we promote. You know, we think highly of him, and certainly we're glad to have him back next year as well.
When you've got 4 guys like that, all their roommates, that can either be a really good thing or a really bad thing, but obviously they've made it work. How does that help the chemistry of the group?
Yeah, it's something about those offensive linemen. You know, they're 5-1 is the way they say it. I think they themselves would tell you that. They're 5 individuals playing as one. More time you're together, the better. You know, and I think living together, those guys have been here. They've been through all the ups and downs. And that's what I love about the game, is the relationships that you build throughout this game. So I think that's a good indication of a good football team.
You've talked before about Matt Barnes being the last linked, I guess, 2013.
Mm-hmm.
What's it meant to kind of watch him this year, being a 6th-year guy, and just kind of being that one who's the last from that era?
Yeah, you know, Matt was kind of a guy who was a little bit of a jury was still out on him when we got here. A little bit of a checkered past in terms of how he played, but you know, I still remember the first workout that we had, kind of an evaluation workout, and I remember him running through the bags, and I said, I think we could get that guy to play pretty good. You know, we were excited that he got the 6-year of eligibility. He's extremely intelligent, you know, and he's a guy who really is another guy who practices at a high level and really has played with great effort and toughness. Really detailed guy, does the little things right. In our system, tight end has got a lot on their plate, and he's really got us off to a good start in terms of the expectations for that position.